Brett James, the Grammy-winning country songwriter, has died at age 57 in a devastating plane crash, leaving the music industry and fans worldwide in shock. The tragic accident claimed not only his life, but also the lives of his wife, Melody Carole Wilson, and his stepdaughter, Meryl Maxwell Wilson. The news broke quickly, and since then, tributes and emotional outpourings have flooded from across the entertainment world, painting a heartbreaking picture of the legacy he leaves behind and the immense void his passing creates. Brett James was far more than just a songwriter. He was a craftsman of emotion, someone who had the rare ability to take the complexities of life, love, heartbreak, and faith and translate them into timeless music that resonated across generations. For decades, his work defined some of the biggest hits in country music, and his name became synonymous with powerful, heartfelt lyrics that artists dreamed of recording. From Carrie Underwood's career-defining anthem, Jesus, Take the Wheel, to Kenny Chesney's infectious When the Sun Goes Down, Brett James helped shape the soundtrack of an era. To understand the full weight of this loss, it's important to look back at the magnitude of his career. Brett James started his journey in music not as a behind-the-scenes songwriter, but as a performer. He released his own self-titled solo album in the mid-1990s. Though his career as a solo artist didn't skyrocket the way many expected, it opened doors that eventually led him to find his true calling, songwriting. By the early 2000s, his career hit its stride. He began writing hits for some of the most respected names in country and pop music, quickly establishing himself as one of Nashville's most in-demand songwriters. In 2001, Brett celebrated his first #1 hit with Jessica Andrews' Who I Am, and from there, the floodgates opened. Over the course of his career, he would write more than 500 recorded songs, with album sales surpassing 110 million copies worldwide. His music wasn't just popular, it was award-winning. His collaboration on Jesus, Take the Wheel with Carrie Underwood won a Grammy Award and multiple industry honors, cementing his place in the pantheon of great songwriters. It wasn't just the accolades that mattered, though. It was the way these songs touched people. Fans often described how Brett's lyrics seemed to speak directly to their lives, as though he had lived their experiences himself. Tragically, Brett's final chapter came far too soon. The crash occurred shortly after takeoff in Franklin, North Carolina. He was piloting his own Cirrus SR-22T, a plane registered in his name, when the aircraft went down in a rural field. Eyewitnesses described the horrifying moment when the plane descended rapidly, ultimately ending in disaster. Though the crash site was frighteningly close to a school, no one on the ground was harmed. Still, the loss of 3 lives from one family has left an indelible mark, particularly for Brett's children from his previous marriage, who must now grapple with the unimaginable. In the wake of the tragedy, the music community has rallied together to honor Brett's memory. Carrie Underwood, perhaps the artist most closely associated with his work, issued a heartfelt statement, calling his passing unfathomable. She described Brett as generous, humble, and always willing to share credit, a rare trait in an industry where recognition is fiercely contested. She closed her message with a promise that their paths would cross again someday, a touching nod to the faith and spirituality often present in both of their works. Other country legends have joined the chorus of grief. Jason Aldean spoke of Brett's incredible ability to capture emotions in just a few lines of a song. Tim McGraw highlighted his kindness and collaborative spirit. Dirk Bentley called him one of the true architects of modern country music. For many, Brett wasn't just a colleague, he was a friend, a mentor, and a creative force who inspired everyone around him. But the story of Brett James isn't just about the songs. It's also about the man behind the music. His final social media posts, shared just days before the crash, now feel like bittersweet snapshots of a life filled with love and joy. Photos of him and his wife vacationing in the Bahamas, a Father's Day celebration surrounded by his children, and a birthday party for his stepdaughter Meryl now carry a haunting weight. They reflect a man deeply devoted to his family, a man who cherished the small moments as much as the big ones. His death has also sparked broader conversations about the risks of private aviation, particularly among high-profile individuals. Many in the industry are now reflecting on the dangers of small aircraft travel, recalling other tragic losses like Patsy Cline, Jim Crow, and more recently Kobe Bryant. While the investigation into Brett's crash continues, the discussion underscores how even in moments of joy and freedom, tragedy can strike without warning. Yet, despite the sorrow, Brett James's legacy will endure. His songs remain etched into the hearts of millions, from tearful ballads to anthems that filled stadiums. His induction into the Nashville Songwriters Hall of Fame in 2020 was more than a recognition of his career. It was a declaration that his contributions to music would stand the test of time. For songwriters just beginning their careers, Brett was proof that persistence and passion could lead to greatness. For fans, he was the voice behind the moments of their lives, the first dance at a wedding, the comfort during heartbreak, the hope in moments of despair. Now, as the music world mourns, it also remembers. It remembers the way his songs could lift spirits and mend hearts. It remembers his humility in an industry that often glorifies ego. And it remembers the man who, until his final days, lived life fully and loved deeply. As we close this chapter on Brett James's life, we're left with a story both tragic and inspiring. Tragic because a brilliant life ended too soon. Inspiring because his words and melodies will live forever. For every fan who presses play on one of his songs, Brett's voice as a writer echoes once again, reminding us all of the power of music to transcend even the darkest moments. Brett James, gone at 57, but never forgotten. His music, his spirit, and his story will continue to inspire generations to come. Make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more celebrity updates just like this.